all hear me?
Yeah.
So, welcome to the first talk this morning, which is the top 10 secrets to a successful hotel business. Just to introduce myself, my name's Monica Orr, and I'm the founder of Star Quality Hospitality. So I work as a hospitality consultant. I specialise in working with independent hotels and restaurants, helping them to improve their profitability. So I have over 20 years experience in hospitality. I've worked in 3, 4, 5-star hotels and cruise ships. During my time, I've been involved with the implementation of standards, hotel openings and hotel refurbishments. I've trained hundreds of people in customer service and I specialise in people management as well. I regularly write for Hotel Industry magazine as an industry expert. I'm the chairman for the Institute of Hospitality, which is a professional body for the hospitality industry. And I'm also the author of Star Quality Hospitality, the key to a successful hospitality business, which is this book here, which is now an Amazon bestseller. I'll tell you more about the book a little bit later on. So, if we think about the hospitality industry, who here has heard of the Hotel Inspector, the television series? Yeah? So that series has been on telly for about the past 10 years or so, and it's a very popular series where Alex Polizzi, an award-winning hotelier, goes in and helps independent hotels with their failing businesses. Now, one of the things she does is she looks at obviously where she can help them, and she tends to do a makeover of some sort, whether it be a bedroom or an area of a hotel. However, if you work in hotels, you will know that when you have a failing property, it's not just about having a makeover. Problems lie a lot deeper than that. So when I reveal some of the 10 top secrets, I'll be looking at some of the things you can do to help your hotel, and I'll explain a bit more how I can help you do that as well. So, are we ready for the top 10 secrets? Yeah? So, the way I'm going to do this, the first secret is 1 to 6. This is about you and your business. Then secret 7 to 9 is about your customers. And secret 10, it just brings the whole thing together. But wait, though. Because in about 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you the best secret of all. Okay, so let's keep it amongst ourselves. So, this first secret then, it's all about connecting to the World Wide Web. So, have any of you tried to Google yourself? Put your name or your hotel name into Google and you see what comes up, yeah? Okay? Have any of you actually done that using an incognito window? Do you know what I mean by that? Yes? You do? So, if you think when you're on your computer and you Google your name, because you've used your computer all the time, your computer remembers what's happened, yeah? If you use what's called an incognito window, it's like a totally fresh window, and it's like you're using a new computer. So when you Google yourself in an incognito window, you actually get a true result of where your hotel is actually listed, or where Googling yourself is posting where you're listed. Who here's got a website that's responsive? Do you know what I mean by a responsive website, yeah? Fantastic. So basically, your website needs to be viewable on any device, whether it be a laptop, PC, a netbook, smartphone. And so whenever someone goes onto that, straight away your website's readable. Yeah? You're not like scrolling back and forth and trying to work out what your website's actually saying. What percentage of your bookings are taken directly from your website though? Do you have online booking forms on your websites? Yes, some of you do. Obviously, we spend a lot of time working with OTAs, online travel agents, which is obviously fantastic. They do have a role to play. But ultimately, if you want a profitable hotel, you want to be getting as many bookings directly, whether it be through your website or through word of mouth, but you want them to book directly rather through an OTA. If any of you use Google tools such as Google Plus or YouTube, you heard of Google Plus? Yeah, it's one of the newer tools, but again, you need to be on there to get recognised. If you want to be higher up in the search engines, you need to be playing with the Google tools. Google Plus is free, YouTube is free, so if you've got a video in your website, put it on YouTube and get it embedded in, because it helps your search engine rankings. I'd expect most of you should be on TripAdvisor. And love it or loathe it, you should really be on there because that's really the first point of call for people to find you. But the key to TripAdvisor is not just having yourself on there, but actually read the reviews that your guests take the time to put up there. So who here reads their TripAdvisor reviews if you're on TripAdvisor? Who responds to the TripAdvisor reviews? Good. You're frantically nodding your heads there. Who responds to the TripAdvisor reviews in the language they are written in? Yeah, because sometimes you might have a foreign guest stay and they write in their native language, so you should be responding back in that native language, which is actually very easy to do. And if you're on social media, it's good for some people, maybe not for others, but if you do make that decision to be on social media, you have to use it, you have to interact with it. So that means regularly posting and having a conversation with your users on the other side of it as well. Okay. The other thing you need to know about is your numbers. So if you want your cash to flow in your business, you've got to be taking deposits. It really surprises me that these days there are so many independent hoteliers that don't take deposits. They take on face value, so on books they're going to turn up. When they do turn up, they then don't ask for them to be for any payment. They let them stay and then ask for payment at the end, which is extremely risky. And a lot of people, unfortunately in this day and age, do the old walkout. So you need to get that money up front, yeah? A prepaid deposit, or as soon as they walk through the door, get them to pay a deposit, if not the whole stay. Most people don't like numbers, most people don't like accounts or anything like that, but there's a lot of accounting software out there which will make your life a lot easier. So you've probably got an accountant, hopefully you have. The accounting software that's out there, I'm not going to name any brands or anything like that, but there is lots of software out there, and these days your accountants can actually plug into that as well and see your accounts. So it makes it a lot easier when they go through it with you, and it also means they're spending less time doing it for you. It's more cost effective that way. If you're a slightly bigger property, you might have a property management system. Again, all of this should be interlinking with one another. So with your property management system, you should be thinking about your customers and how you profile them. So there's a hotel that, when I come to the shows, it's the third year I've been to the show, whether it be for a guest or a visitor or speaker or what have you, I always stay at the same hotel. Now, whether or not they are profiling me, I don't actually think so, because they've never actually said, welcome back. Yeah, I'd expect by now they could have recognised the name and think, oh yeah, she's doing the hotel show, she comes at exactly the same time every year. Haven't actually had that interaction with them yet. So, if you look at the customers that are actually staying with you, start profiling them. Who here likes to do the staff rotas? It's probably one of the most time-consuming things you can do. Again, the software out there can help you to automate that and make your life so much easier. The other thing you need to think about is controlling your food costs, and I'll talk a bit more about that later on. But again, software is out there to help you do all of these things. You need to be making use of it. One of the most important things with your numbers is you've got to fluctuate your rates. Obviously down in Bournemouth, I would hope that's something you do with your low season or high season, things like that. But again, it surprises me when I talk to some of the smaller operators that, oh no, I have my regular guests, I can't change my rates, I have to keep the rates the same. No, you need to be changing your rates, you need to be making the most of what's happening in your locality. So number 3, it's about being squeaky clean. So how clean are your toilets? Do you ever go and actually check your toilets? Yeah, it should be something you do regularly, but it tends to be one of the things that you kind of forget about. So you need to be thinking about your maintenance checks, having the routine checks, your daily checks when you're going cleaning the rooms. If something's wrong, you should be dealing with it straight away. You should be having preventative checks as well to stop the bigger problems escalating. And you should have your scheduled maintenance, your planned preventative maintenance. These are the longer term projects. So they should be all diarised and you should have them ready to hand. To ensure that all your rooms and your public areas and your toilets are looking fantastic, you've got to have checklists. And the reason for checklists is the consistency of standards. One person may be checking it, someone else may be checking it. If they're not checking for the same things, you've lost your consistency. And the other thing that people forget to do is actually do the follow-up. So you might say, yes, I've checked this room, light bulb's out, but then do you actually remember to double check, did someone actually replace that light bulb, or is it still going to be out the next day? So it's just keeping ahead of your procedures and being on top of everything. So number 4 is about being hospitable. Well, yeah, I know that one. We are in the hospitality industry, and again, it's just amazing. You go into a hotel and you're met, and the people there aren't actually ready for you. So you need to be prepared, you need to be organised, you need to be ready for your guests. You need to greet and use your guest's name. Now, it may sound very basic, that, but at times you go into a hotel, good morning, good afternoon, madam, sir, etc. It's so easy to get the guest's name. Are you checking in? Yes, I am. Could I take your name? You have the name there in front of you. Use it. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot for you to escort someone to a room and to assist them with their luggage. Now, you might think, I'm not a five-star hotel. I haven't got time to do that. But it's the little things. It's about being courteous. It's about being helpful. So actually, when you escort your guest to the room and you assist them with the luggage, it shows you're being helpful. But actually, the main reason you're doing that is to get to know your customer. So you can actually start talking to the guests. Find out why they're here. Show interest in them. Number 5, called setting the table. So checking your stock levels. Again, there's nothing worse than a customer coming in, sitting down for lunch or dinner, whatever, or having a drink at the bar, and saying, oh no, we've run out of that, we've got that, sorry, the beer's run out, or no, we've only got these dishes left on the menu now. Yeah? So if you've got a menu, you've got to make sure you have enough food for your guests. You need to know your food products, particularly these days. You need to be very allergen aware, and later on there's a talk about allergies. So you need to know the ins and outs of your ingredients. What are you using to make up your dishes? Out of those ingredients, which of them are on that allergy hit list, if you like? Portion control is a key one. A lot of hoteliers think if I fill the plate up with loads and loads of food, then my guests can think, oh, I'm getting value for money here. I've got all this food, it's fantastic. Yeah, they feed you well here, but then actually they can't finish it, and then they leave loads. Yeah, and then you have a lot of food waste, and food waste is obviously money at the end of the day. So think about your portion sizes, and you need to change your offering. You don't have the same menu day in, day out. You need to be changing it at regular intervals as well to keep it fresh. Number 6, I call putting on a show. So your rooms should always be in a showroom condition. The amount of times I go to a hotel and I'm there for a show round or something, and I'll say to them, oh, can I have a look at your meeting rooms? Yeah, of course, you go and show the meeting room. Well, I know it's really messy at the minute and it's not laid up and you've got tables everywhere and it's a real mess, but when we set it up, it will look really good for your function. Like, well, no, I want to see what it's going to look like when it's set up. I don't want to see a room with luggage stored in it. So all of your rooms need to be in showroom condition, not just the bedrooms. We're very good at doing the bedrooms because we do those every single day. But your meeting rooms should be set up as they're ready for a meeting. So pay attention to detail and give your potential guests a true feeling of how you can really accommodate their needs. So the next set of secrets about your customers, the internal and the external customers. So who can tell me, what do I mean by the internal customer? What does that mean? Okay, your employees, thank you. So the internal customer is basically the people inside your organisation. So a key example is things like your employees, also your suppliers. They're also looked as your internal customers. And then we have the external customers, who are basically your paying guests, yeah? So let's have a look at this. So you need to relate with your suppliers. Sourcing your suppliers, the key things you need to be looking at. You need to be looking at the quality of what they're going to be producing for you. The price, it obviously needs to be within your budgets. You need consistency. And you need to think about the reputation of the supplier. So you need to attend trade shows. You're all here today, which is absolutely fantastic. So come to things like Hotel and Catering Show, going to other trade events to see what is out there. There's so many different suppliers now, they are just increasing. There's so many different products out there that you can choose from. But how often do you change your suppliers? Think about it. So some of you will find your supplier and you'll keep them forever. And you think, oh, but I'm really loyal to my supplier. But you need to see what else is out there. And it could be, have you actually gone back to your supplier and said, I'm a loyal customer, do I get a discount for that? because actually some suppliers will do that. Or likewise, you can go to a new supplier saying, well, can you match these prices? And they might well do that. So you do still need to be shopping around and keeping it fresh. The secret number 8 is all about your staff. You need to invest in your staff. They're very important people because they basically run your business. So you need to use your company values to recruit. So whatever size company you are, you should have a vision, you should have values that are very strong to your company and should be embedded in everything that you do, including the way you recruit your staff. You also need to induct them into the business so they can understand exactly what your business is. Train them so they're competent and can work consistently to the standards that you want. You must appraise them and let them know when they're doing a good job, how they're doing a good job. And likewise reward them, recognise and celebrate the successes that they have and that they'll bring to your hotel. And then we can look at our customers. So let's just look at how we can exceed our customer expectations. I'm just going to quickly go through a few stats. This is taken from the World Host course, which just gives you an idea of some of the things we look at when we look at customer service. So an average business will never hear from 96% of its unhappy customers. A dissatisfied customer will tell 9 to 10 people about that unfortunate incident. And for every complaint received, there's 26 other people who've actually got the same or similar concern. Now, 70% of businesses customers will do business again if that problem is resolved effectively, and 95% if the complaint was resolved quickly. Customers who have complaints resolved satisfactorily will tell 5 other people. So if they've got a big complaint, they'll tell 10. If you sort it out, they'll tell 5. And it costs you 5 times more to attract a new customer than it does to keep an existing one. So you want to keep your customers loyal to you, you want them to keep coming back. And ideally, you want them to refer other customers to you as well. So let's just have a look at that in a little bit more detail. So we have one customer who's unhappy, but actually we've got 26 people who have the same or similar concerns. We actually have 27 unhappy people. Those 27 people chat to another 10 people. So actually we've got 270 people who've heard of a bad experience but they haven't actually set foot in your hotel yet. Yeah? If we put that into monetary terms, you've got one person who, let's say they spent on average £10 a month with you. Just keep the figures simple. If they were regular and they came to your hotel every month, that would be £120 a year they could be spending with you. But they didn't have a very good experience. So they tell these other, and you've got 26 other people who also don't have a very good experience. So you've got 27 people who haven't got a good experience. So that would have been £270 a month, which would have been £3,240 a year. Each of them have told another 10 people. So your potential loss is actually £32,400 a year because you had one problem in your hotel. And more than likely you're going to have a lot more than just one problem. Yeah? But it just gives you an idea of how it can escalate. So, if you want to exceed your customer expectations, you really need to understand what we mean by that. So is anyone on Twitter here? Yeah? If you're on Twitter, what I want you to do, or we'll just do this together, tweet at Monica_OR. You can do this if you're on Twitter, and I'll have a look and see what you put through later. How would you actually define exceeding customer expectations? What does that actually mean? We talk about it all the time. We talk about, oh yes, you've got to go above and beyond to help your customers. What do we mean by exceeding customer expectations? Yes, sir?
If they leave a tip.
If they leave a tip?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's showing you've done something good if they want to leave a tip for you.
Do you know what tips stand for?
Go on, tell me what tips stand for.
To improve personal service.
Excellent. To improve personal service. So if people are leaving tips for you, that's a good sign. Yeah? So you could say that's one way. What else do we think exceeding customer expectations means? Any other?
Listening to them and exceeding what we think they want.
Excellent. Listening to them and exceeding what they want. Doing that little bit more for them. Yeah? Okay. So let's have a look at this. I put it down as perceived value plus added value. Because everyone has their own perception of what they think value is. So whichever hotel, whichever restaurant they go into, they always have this preconceived idea of what they think they're going to be getting for the money they're spending at your property. So whatever that perceived value is, you need to be putting added value on top of that. If you're able to do that, then that's when you're exceeding your customer expectations. That's the difficult bit, because we can't be mind readers, but there are little ways that you can work out what it is that your customer wants. So secret number 10 is about measuring your success. It's great having all these different strategies in place, but unless you're measuring what you're doing, you're not going to be able to gauge what's actually happening. And there's lots of different ways that you can measure. Be your own guest. Who has stayed in their own hotel here? So if you run a hotel or you run a restaurant, have you actually stayed in your own hotel? Have you actually stayed in every single bedroom of your hotel? Have you sat at every single table in your restaurant and been served a meal there? Because wherever you're sitting, you're going to get a different perspective of what is happening in your own property. Listening to your staff is very key. They're the front line. They are doing the operations, know exactly what's going on. They know what works well and what doesn't work well. So if you listen to what they're actually saying, you can improve your systems quite easily. As I mentioned earlier, you've got to talk to your guests. Find out why they're here. Find out what they like. Find out what they don't like. That's what's going to help you to go above and beyond. And just do those little extra special touches for them. And you can add some mystery. So a lot of companies these days will have mystery shoppers come in, yeah? And the reason they have that is so that you can get a very objective opinion of what is going on in your hotel. The problem with the last few is they're quite subjective. So it's really good to have a very objective opinion where they're really looking, no emotion comes in, but they're actually looking at, are those standards in place, yeah? What is the customer service happening in your hotel? And it's always good to have a helping hand along the way as well. The best businesses have coaches. So getting the opinion of, the expert opinion of someone external to your company will just give you a totally different perspective, because they will see things that you can't see. If you're so involved in your business, you get blinded by it. So, the best kept secret rule then. So this one I've kept till last. This is the key to a successful hospitality business, and this is basically a model that I've put together and I've written about in my book. So if you want to know more about it, the whole thing is explained in here. So basically, I'll explain very quickly. You've got your hospitality business here. So well, that's your hotel, your bed and breakfast, your pub with rooms, or whatever it is. And from that, you should be having your vision, your values, and that should be embedded all the way through everything that you do. You should be able to match your products and services to whatever it is that your customer wants. And you're only going to be able to do that if you understand who your customers are. Once you've got that set up, you can look at the internal procedures, and then you can actually look after your customers. So customers are the lifeline of your hotel. And with your customers, as I mentioned earlier, we're talking about your suppliers, your staff, as well as your guests. So, as I said, the model here is explained in my book, and I go into a lot of detail of how that's broken down. And there's lots of tips in here of how you can do some quick fixes within your hotels as well. Ultimately, my own personal vision is that whichever hotel a guest stays in, or whichever restaurant a guest dines at, that they should be taken on a unique customer service journey, where the hospitality professionals that they meet along the way are going to create memorable experiences just for them, okay? So it sounds very great, but actually if you think about it in reality, that's actually very difficult to do. Yeah? It takes a lot of personal attention, a lot of personal service in order to carry that out. So there's an old Chinese proverb which says, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So the tools that I've got, I can share with my hoteliers, and I will teach them how to run a successful business. Thank you very much. Any questions?